ఈరోజు నాతోటి ఒక స్పెషల్ గెస్ట్ ఉంది అండ్ షీఈస్ బార్న్ ఇన్ యుఎస్ఏ మై క్లోజ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ డాటర్. How do you see this as an opportunity, best of the both worlds? So how do you see this situation for your life?
Your foot is in two different spots. So because to Americans we look Indian, to Indians I look American, right? So it's kind of it's hard. It's too much duality. You feel like you can't belong in both places.
యూజువలీ ఈ డిగ్రీ చుట్టూనే మీ లెర్నింగ్ తిరుగుతుందా లేదా ఈజ్ ఇట్ లైఫ్ టైం?
In the US they feed you only one thing.
How do you think the shift is required from a job to a business or an employee to an employer?
People don't know and they don't look to know. They just expecting information to come to them.
We consider Indian food is like an medicine. So most of our Indian food lo unde edaithe spices untayo they are like an ayurveda. So aa goodness kuda mee restaurant lo untunda?
Indian food is very specific and is very difficult to copy.
So how do you take care of your people? How do you build your team?
Without people there is no business. Without customers, nothing. Business is nothing.
Excellent. Hi. ఈరోజు నాతోటి ఒక స్పెషల్ గెస్ట్ ఉంది అండ్ షీఈస్ బార్న్ ఇన్ యుఎస్ఏ మై క్లోజ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ డాటర్. మై ఫ్రెండ్ 25 years బ్యాక్ యుఎస్ వెళ్ళి ఒక జాబ్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత కన్సల్టెంట్స్గా మారి దాని తర్వాత బిజినెస్ పెట్టి దాని తర్వాత సీరియల్ ఎంటర్ప్రినర్ లాగా ఇండియన్ రెస్టారెంట్స్, హోటల్స్ ఇలా చాలా బిజినెస్లో ఈజ్ డూయింగ్ వెరీ వెల్. హిజ్ ఓన్లీ డాటర్ అక్కడే పుట్టింది, అక్కడే చదువుకుంది, అక్కడే డిగ్రీ చేసింది. అయితే ఇండియాకి చాలా తక్కువ టైం వచ్చి ఉంటుంది కానీ ఇండియన్ రూట్స్కి ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళవు కదండి. ఇంట్లో కూడా మదర్ టంగ్ మాట్లాడతారు. అండ్ వెన్ ఎవర్ ఐ సీ హర్ ఎక్సెప్ట్ ఆ లాంగ్వేజ్ కానీ ఆ యొక్క యాక్సెంట్ కానీ అవి రెండు తప్ప బట్ ఐ కెన్ సీ దట్ మన కల్చరల్ రూట్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి. వాట్ ఈస్ హర్ వ్యూ అబౌట్ ఇండియా? What is her view about world? And she's going to start her new business and she came to India and I got an opportunity to do a podcast with her. Let us see that మనం ఇండియన్స్ వాళ్ళ గ్లోబల్ సిటిజన్స్గా మనం ప్రతి చోట ఉన్నాం అండ్ చాలామంది పేరెంట్స్ వేరే చోటుకు వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మిస్ అవుతుంది అనుకుంటారు. బట్ వీ కెన్ సీ దట్ హౌ బోత్ వరల్డ్స్ అన్ని మెర్జ్ అయినప్పుడు, డిఫరెంట్ కల్చర్స్ మెర్జ్ అయినప్పుడు లైఫ్ ఎలా ఇన్నోవేటివ్గా ఉంటుంది, ఎలా ఉంటుంది. సో టుడేస్ పాడ్కాస్ట్లో తెలుసుకుందాం. థ్యాంక్ యూ. సో హాయ్ నికితా, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ యాక్సెప్టింగ్ టుడేస్ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఫర్ ఎ పాడ్కాస్ట్ అండ్ ఫర్ ఎ షార్ట్ విజిట్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్ ఇండియా అండ్ దో ఐ ఆస్క్డ్ యువర్ ఫాదర్ ఫర్ ఎ పాడ్కాస్ట్. నీ ఇష్టం ఉంటేనే అది యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తావు. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ బీయింగ్ విత్ అస్. సో హౌ ఆర్ యూ నికితా?
First, thank you for having me, Uncle. This is a really good opportunity. I'm doing good. I've been enjoying India, definitely.
Wonderful. So, ఎన్నిసార్లు వచ్చుంటావు ఇప్పుడు వరకు ఇండియాకి?
నేను 2 times.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
సో లాస్ట్ 2 decadesలో 2 times వచ్చావు అంతే. సో నేనైతే చిన్నప్పుడు చూశాను నేను. అప్పటికి నీకు గుర్తులేదు అది, కానీ లాస్ట్ విజిట్ మేబీ నీకు కొంచెం గుర్తుండి ఉంటుంది. సో అండ్ దిస్ విజిట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ వీ న్యూ ఈచ్ అదర్ వెల్. నువ్వు ఒక బిజినెస్ కూడా స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నావు కదా ఇప్పుడు యుఎస్లో. అసలు ఏం చదువుకున్నావు మనం అక్కడ యుఎస్ఏలో?
నేను
బిజినెస్ లా అంటే అదొక డిగ్రీనా? అంటే మన ఇండియా వి కాల్ ఇట్ ఆఫ్టర్ 12 we do about 3 years degree, 4 years engineering. అలాంటిదా బిజినెస్ లా అంటే?
So business law was my undergrad degree. So I studied for 4 years.
4 years? Okay, nice. So మీకు పర్టికులర్ ఓన్లీ బిజినెస్ లానే చెప్తారా ఆ డిగ్రీలో? ఆల్ అదర్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ కూడా ఏమైనా చెప్పే అవకాశం ఉందా?
So in the US they do like 2 years prerequisite courses. So adilo math, English, they do CS, they teach you everything. And then 2 years later, you do the core courses. They call them electives learning. So then through law, I did like negotiation class, management class, compliance class, all of these things. Then that shapes into your degree.
వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ డూయింగ్ డిగ్రీ? ఇక్కడ మా ఇండియాలో అయితే మోస్ట్లీ ఎక్కువ చదువుకోవడం దేనికి చేస్తారంటే ఉద్యోగాలు చేయడం కోసం చేస్తారు, టు డూ సమ్ జాబ్.
Yeah.
సో అయితే కొన్ని బిజినెస్ స్టడీస్ అయితే ఏదైనా బిజినెస్ పెట్టాలనుకున్నా, స్టార్ట్అప్ చేయాలన్నా దానికి BBA or MBA చేస్తుంటారు. వాట్ ఈస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ బిజినెస్ లా డూయింగ్ 4 years undergrad?
I think everybody has different purposes going to school. Some going to school for the sake of it, getting the degree and moving on. Some go so that they can further their studies. Some in US, university is a privilege. Everybody can go through different lengths to attend that school. Some people get loans and everything they need to pull out to cover that education. So definitely there's a lot of different things that go into why you're getting education, higher education. Mostly for me, I would say you go to learn and meet other people from different backgrounds and grow. Because in university in US, it's very common to move out of your home and go there 4 years, develop yourself and come back. Through that, you're also learning different courses and subjects that they do not teach you in your high school, lower school, all that.
Wonderful. So 4 years to undergrad చేయడం వల్ల does that really prepare you for life and business? Or do you need to do some masters to complete your education?
You only, how do I say it? It's your choice, right? If you just go to school to have fun, use AI to do homework for you and just go and goof off, then that's your choice. Other people, they go and they take it seriously and they go and study, do high marks and everything, then that's their choice. But ultimately, you have to set the expectations going in. So because of that,
So I really want to know that your learning or usually ఈ డిగ్రీ చుట్టూనే మీ లెర్నింగ్ తిరుగుతుందా, లేదా ఈజ్ ఇట్ లైఫ్ టైమ్? అండ్ డూ యూ ఫీల్ కంప్లీట్ బై అండర్ గ్రాడ్ ఆర్ మాస్టర్స్ చేస్తేనే నా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ కంప్లీట్ అని ఏమన్నా అనిపిస్తుందా? వాట్ వాజ్ యువర్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ బీయింగ్ బార్న్ ఇన్ USA and less impact on Indian culture and you? How do you see that basic education, that like undergrad or masters? So how do you feel complete with undergrad?
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, yes and no. No, in the sense it's very basic studies. They you just have this closed mindset of school, and then you leave the school, and then that's it. There's no help. It's up to you to figure it out. And they don't even teach you what jobs to look for. They don't even teach you like that. This is a degree and that's it. You have to become, because you're fully independent. So because of that, you have to go and search for everything yourself, whether that's internship, a job, doing your own networking. They provide some minimal things, but that's it. So a lot of people, what they end up doing is they either don't like what they studied or they think they need to further that study through postgraduate or master's, MBA, something. So then they feel more, okay, I can go now to real world. I can do job. I can do this. Mainly what I've noticed, a lot of people are struggling to find something, and companies are not giving to non-students. So you graduated, they don't want you. They want you from the school only. From school, then they will take you, shape you, mold you, and keep you in the company. So sometimes that's kind of the pattern that I'm seeing now. I cannot speak for every company, but mainly from what I've seen, if you like what you studied, then there's passion. Then you'll go and you'll find it. you didn't like what you studied, you study something else, you go do a job somewhere else, or you continue postgraduate masters and you go and study something, you do a 2-year degree, something you like.
Really want to know that in India ఇప్పటి వరకు స్టిల్ ఇంకా కూడా కెరీర్ కౌన్సిలింగ్ ఆర్ బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దేర్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ అండ్ మల్టిపుల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ థియరీ అంట, బికాస్ ఎవ్రీ చైల్డ్ హ్యాస్ గాట్ some unique intelligences, like MI theory by Howard Gardner. There are about 10 intelligences, like mathematical intelligence, musical intelligence, pictorial intelligence, interpersonal, intrapersonal, kinesthetic intelligence. Ila 10 intelligences lo there are 3 to 4 are dominant in every child.
Okay.
So based on that, an assessment, a kind of an online assessment or a career counselor helping them that ఈ ఏరియాస్లో యూ విల్ ఎక్సెల్ అని చెప్పే విధానం ఇంకా ఇండియాలో పూర్తిగా లేదు. ఐ డోంట్ నో అబౌట్ యూఎస్ఏ. ఆల్సో ఇకిగాయ్ అంటారు, జపనీస్ ఇకిగాయ్ ఇస్ వెరీ పాపులర్ నౌ, దట్ యువర్ ప్యాషన్, వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ అబ్సల్యూట్ ప్యాషన్, అండ్ అగైన్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు సాల్వ్ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్, వాట్ ఈస్ యువర్ మిషన్. ద థర్డ్ వన్ ఈజ్ ఒకేషన్, where you develop skills and knowledge about it, and the fourth one is profession, where you become master or great at something. So did you find your ikigai in adugutuntaru Japan lo? So there's a concept everybody knows now. So is there anything like that in USA from your childhood onwards? Choose something which you like most, or based on your talent, or is it education, jobs kosame ela batkali? See, it's important to survive, but there also is the mindset of the same, or how do you see that different perspectives from Indian context and USA?
I would say growing up in US, the biggest thing that they tell you is job. They have emphasized high paying jobs, doctor, lawyer, all of these big jobs. So then growing up, you hear a lot of people say, yeah, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a pilot, something like that. Issue with that, I would say, is that they're not educating everybody on what different jobs are out there. They only highlight these big jobs. So then in some cases you feel like a failure if you don't want to pursue that job, or you don't have that passion for that. Some people, they go and study medicine, there's no passion, they're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Then are you really helping people or no, right? So I would say in US, they just put you through school. There's not much career counseling. If you want that, you need to go and actively look for it. In US, it's very independent thinking. They just tell you what they want to tell you, and that's it. If you have a question, you need to ask. No questions, that's it. So I would say that's one maybe big struggle. You might think a lot of hand-holding happens in the US, but I would say it's quite the opposite. Sometimes you'll find a good person in life, they'll mentor you and help you and guide you, but not everybody has like that luxury, especially in school. So I would say because of that issue, a lot of people, they just stick to something, what they know. They're very comfortable with what they know, very uncomfortable with the unknown, and they like to keep it like that. But again, that's a very big generalization. Everybody is different, but that's kind of the mindset. That's why there's so many books out there, called career books and everything, but everybody is very comfortable with corporate job, doing these very basic things. I shouldn't say basic. I should say just more.
Can you ఇప్పుడు let's say that today AI era is coming, and most jobs may not exist from 5 years from now or 10 years from now. New jobs may get created. And do you see that it's only meant for jobs, or is there any entrepreneurship also is encouraged in USA also?
Definitely. Entrepreneurship is, it's done in secret, behind the curtain. You see all these big companies, McDonald's, everything, Walmart, these big corporations, they all started from entrepreneurship alone, right? But the thinking pattern, from what I've understood, is that it's not how do I become next Apple, how do I become next Microsoft. It's how do I work for Apple, how do I work for Microsoft. See, that's the change, that mindset change. So only if the 100% Americans are there, maybe only 15% are thinking that thoughts. Everybody rest is thinking, how do I get a seat in the table? That's it. Not how do I start that. So
Now, Nikita, you are born for Indian parents, and that too from Hyderabad, Telugu speaking at home. సో మాట్లాడడం అంత రాదేమో కానీ అర్థం అవుతుంది కదా అంత నైస్. సో బట్ యూజువలీ దట్ కల్చర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా, కల్చర్స్ ఆఫ్ తెలుగు పీపుల్, అండ్ యు ఆర్ బోర్న్ ఇన్ USA and a place where not much Indians are there. So only at home you see that Indian culture, and rest of them are totally in USA. So you have an advantage of two cultures in your life. How do you see that? Is it really benefited you or restricted you?
A good question. Growing up in Arizona, I can speak for Arizona. I cannot speak for the rest of US. So, but definitely in my case, growing up in Indian roots is very difficult because inside everything is Indian, right? You step outside of your house, everything is American. And that too, when my parents immigrated to US, and then when I was born, things are still very heavily one-minded, close-minded. So these Indian foods, Indian dress, everything, even yoga, all this, drinking a chai, nothing was very popular in the US. So my culture very undershadowed. My culture is very undershadowed. So I had to close myself to blend. Because if you don't blend, then they make you either blend or that's it. You're outcasted. So it's very difficult growing up as an outcast, right? So you have to blend. Because of that blending, and because I grew up not around any Indians, it's really difficult because now it's being around Indians, you feel very comfortable home and everything like that. But I lost that touch with my culture. There's no coming back from that. That's my biggest regret. But then it's also, I did what I did with what I had. So in some ways, to even have what I have now, I'm very grateful. If I could go back in time and tell my little self, don't do like that, just be outcast, then I would have, maybe things would be different.
Wow. So great. And out of your friends, any Indians or totally Americans or different nations?
Everyone different nations, which was nice. Not everybody was just like what you think typical American. Different nations. I made my first Indian friend in 7th grade. So I was 12 years old. And then in college, I made a lot of Indian friends. And everybody, they had the same upbringing as me. Shielding, kind of hiding that Indian self. And then now everything has shifted so much in the US. Now everybody has their chai, they drink chai, they go and do yoga, they love Indian clothes. Henna is so big thing. So a lot of things have shifted in the past 10 years. So
a lot of acceptance and respect for Indian culture, isn't it, right now?
I would say acceptance is there, respect is still not there. They're not showing that respect. So that's it's difficult being Indian American versus coming from India, because you see both things. And you want to protect India, you want to protect America. Your foot is in two different spots. So because to Americans, we look Indian. To Indians, I look American, right? So it's kind of it's hard. It's too much duality. You feel like you can't belong in both places. So
Correct.
meeting people in college having that same mindset as me it's a lot easier to navigate because you're not alone.
And I think a few years ago, you're singing American national anthem, and it was beautiful, and everybody is appreciating that. So it is there in your heart. So since you are born there, so you owned it, and you are a US citizen now. So how do you see India coming 2 times after you growing up? I've seen you when you're a child and you don't remember that. So maybe last 2 visits you remembered. How do you see that India, and what beautiful things you noticed here?
First, I'll say I've seen India through my parents' eyes when I was younger. Now I'm seeing India through my eyes. So I'll talk from my parents and then I'll talk from mine. First, my parents, so much struggle. Their lives in India versus America, it's a really big difference. Infrastructure, buildings, food, everything looks so different. And then going when I'm younger, you don't know anything. You just go. Your parents tell you to go here. You go. You're meeting all your relatives. They know you. You don't know them, right? So that's definitely one thing. Now coming back in my eyes, now I'm 20. So coming back in my eyes and, fully kind of developing, I'm still developing myself, but coming back and seeing that, I realize that I love India a lot. India's like, coming back to your roots, you feel like, even I didn't grow up here, but I feel like I'm coming home. Because everybody looks like you. You understand, like, everyone's speaking Telugu, Hindi, something. You're seeing your family again. And everybody has so much love for you, even though you've been gone for so long. There's a big community in India. You don't get that in the US. Your neighbors know your neighbors. You call somebody on the phone, they come. Even if they're 2-3 hours, they'll come and see you. That feeling is, you feel very comfortable and good.
Wonderful.
In US, it's there, but it's not as, they don't feel that like community as much. They feel like, why you want to come to my house and say hi? I don't want you here. Like sometimes like that happens, like that independence in space is a very big thing. And so that's where even the Indian community I have in US, it's community, but it's not the same as it is in India. So that's why I like coming to India. Also, just the country itself, there's very beautiful spots to go. Where I come from, everything is just plain desert looking.
Nice. And so it is a privilege and opportunity because your parents migrated to USA and started business. And you don't know that what privilege you got it because you're born there.
Exactly.
So how do you see this as an opportunity to learn both the best of the both worlds? So how do you see this situation for your life?
To put it simply, my parents worked very hard I'm seeing what they came from versus now. That's pushing me even more to make it even greater for me in the US and for my family here in India. Because I've seen what my dad can do for his family in India with the things that he's done for himself in the US. Without that, the lives that they're living now would have not been achievable. I mean, it could happen, but not at the pace that he was able to provide for them. So seeing that, I want to take that and make it even better for my parents and for my other family here.
Great, Nikki. Now you're entering into business. Is it your choice or for dad's choice?
I would say that I think that universe, I'll say it like that, they feed you only, in the US, they feed you only one thing. Study hard, get a good education, and go do a job. My dad told me the opposite. Study, get a good education, learn from others, develop, and then go and make something of your own. So I've always had both mindsets. I did a lot of jobs. But my dad also did the same. Because of that, he's been able to become the person he is today. Because of him, I am becoming the person I am today. So I think ultimately, universe has shifted me to this point that I'm supposed to do something. I'm not meant to go and sit in office, work 9-to-5 job. I'm supposed to help give jobs.
How do you think the shift is required from a job to a business or an employee to an employer? So is there any shift required or you already got that shift?
In order to be an employer, I think you need to be an employee first. You need to know what hardships there are, what it means to work long hours, working, dealing with the people, dealing with your boss and everything. Then you'll know what it means to be a leader.
Wonderful. So if you want to do some business before you becoming an employer, it's always good to be an employee to experience it, isn't it?
Definitely.
So
because so many people, like, you go to a restaurant and somebody complains something, they're yelling at you, spitting at you, something, right? Then you go home and you're like, I hate my life, I'm done. And then imagine being that manager, that boss, and then thinking like, why are my employees not doing good? They lost me $100 business, something. They're looking at you like a number, not as a person. Then you feel like that. I just feel like a number, not a person. And so it doesn't feel good. Then you're not investing in your business because you're not investing in your employees.
Wonderful.
Because I don't want to work for somebody who's just thinking that. And that's what I've learned though through that hardship working job.
So wonderful. So there's always two things in life, that is, one is push and one is pull. So if somebody pushes us towards something, we don't like it or we are not passionate about it. It's difficult every day. So, but once you are convinced and you are pulled by it, so definitely things becomes much better. So you are starting your business, that you're starting a restaurant. You're starting your restaurant, or you also want to take dad's business? He has many restaurants and hotels too. So do you want to take up that, or you want to begin with this?
I want to begin with this. I've shadowed him basically since he's gone in the business till now. I've shadowed him. I've seen everything. This is my baby. I will start with this, and then from there, the ideas will come. What you need, everything small and big, then you will learn. Of course, he'll help me. I have a lot of good people behind me, but this one will be I wouldn't even say practice. You just have to go and do it, learn. Whatever comes, and whatever goes. That's ultimately the thing.
Nice. So in India, that many people start a restaurant because there is an easy to start, not even easy to start, because food is something everybody wants to experience now.
Yeah.
So people have more disposable income in India too. So weekends they are used to go to restaurants. Even in two-tier towns also, there's a trend now. So, but of course, not all restaurants are going to be hit. It's maybe 15 to 20% are going to be hit and 80% are not. Because that is also become a crowded market now. I don't know about USA, in the city which you are starting. What is the uniqueness of your restaurant and why customers should come to your restaurant? What is the unique experience they're going to get with your restaurants? Is there any brand promise or an experience or a purpose why you are starting the business?
Purpose. So, like I said, growing up in US as an Indian, it's hard. Not everything in your culture is not normalized. It's unknown to Americans. Not even Americans. Kind of everybody else that's not Indian, it's unknown. So.
But how come that is unknown to you? Because you don't know any other culture. You are born there. So everything is something natural to you, isn't it? But because your family is different, so that will create a kind of an unknown. I feel that's a great advantage for you actually. But how do you see
Yeah,
that?
no. It's definitely an advantage. What I'm saying is like people don't know and they don't look to know. They just expecting information to come to them, right?
Okay.
So with that being said, Indian restaurant is still very untapped market.
See it.
I mean, you see all these big brand. I don't know in India, but we have like Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, all these restaurant fast food concepts. But they all serve, just something, pizza, tacos, chicken nuggets, whatever, like that. So Indian food is really untapped market. So because of that, we also wanted to provide a good experience as well as a good food experience, because Indian food is very, very comfort food, right? It might not seem as that, but it's very comforting food. So because of that, we wanted to bring that to people who have never experienced Indian food before, give them a good dining experience, customer service, and the food ultimately is too good.
Very nice. Who are your target customers? Indians or Americans or everyone?
Target is everyone. Mainly, if it's Indian, Indians will come. But we also want to target people who've never tried Indian food before, have only had like little bit Indian food, or looking to expand past just these basic dishes, chicken, butter chicken, lamb vindaloo, like that, all those things. We want to expand them to learn more than just what they sell in frozen food or what they see on TikTok, all of these things, right? So
నీకేమి ఇష్టం బాగానే? మన ఇడ్లీ దోశ ఇట్లాంటివి తింటావా, అయితే మన రైస్ ఇట్లాంటివి తింటావా, లేదా ప్యూర్ అమెరికన్ ఫుడ్ సలాడ్స్ అట్లాంటివి తింటావా?
I eat everything. My favorite dosa, definitely. But for Americans though, I don't know if dosa, idli, or sambar like this will land on them.
What your restaurant offers then?
We order mostly North Indian, more just mainly like curries, naan. That's what they order mainly.
We consider Indian food is like an medicine. So most of our Indian food లో ఉండే ఏదైతే స్పైసెస్ ఉంటాయో they are like an Ayurveda actually. So our food is our medicine. So that's how we treat Indian food, actually authentic Indian food. So ఆ goodness కూడా మీ restaurant లో ఉంటుందా?
See, with the thing about food in US, I'm not sure if they think food is medicine like that. They come because they have never experienced these flavors and spices in any other cuisine. Nothing can touch that. No, like the Indian food is very specific and is very difficult to copy.
Beautiful. Thanks for that compliment. And you are going to build your business, and your father is going to be a mentor for you, since he already has some successful restaurants in some other town in Arizona. And you're starting your own, and of course, definitely there's a support. But how do you build this business to take this forward? Because you are the second generation business person at home, and definitely you have an advantage of first generation already being successful, but you must be having your own vision for the future. What is the most important thing in running and building your business?
Without people, there is no business. Without customers, nothing. Business is nothing.
Excellent. So how do you take care of your people? How do you build your team?
So first, your employees should feel good every day they come into work. They should feel like it's not a work, it's the happy. So to make them feel good, you need to make sure that they feel comfortable with you, that it's not just employer-employee, but also a relationship that it's still professional, but still comfortable, right? We might not be best friends, but just know I will take care of you. That kind of bond should be built. Then you can trust them, because trust is the biggest thing in business. Because customers are also giving you their trust, right? They're giving you money. If your food is worth $100, they should be getting $100 worth of that feeling, right? This is such a good food, definitely worth my money.
Definitely.
So because of that, you have to be able to provide that for them. So that's the biggest thing. Customers is the big thing.
Excellent. How do you recruit people? And are Indians also part of your business, or it doesn't matter that anybody with competence and people who are trustworthy? So that is the Adi parameter. Usually, that who works in the restaurant in your city? Indians or Mexicans or Americans, who are going to be with you in the team?
In our team, we have Indians. No, only.
Okay.
Nothing like against like American, Mexicans, other cultures. Nothing like that. Mainly because Indians know Indian food the best.
Correct.
If I'm going to explain some food to non-Indian, it's very difficult.
Agreed. So since you are starting an Indian restaurant, so obviously you give employment to people who know that cuisine well, isn't it?
That and I think people also look for that. They look for who the staff, who the chef, everything. They look for that. They want to know that Indian people are taking care of me. To them, then that feels authentic. They're getting full authentic experience.
Yeah, Nikki, that in India, startup is definitely trending now. Unfortunately, out of 10 people who start business, only one person is successful. There are no failed businesses. There are only failed business people, because it depends on the startup. It depends on the kind of mentors they have, kind of mindsets they have. So 10 మందిలో ఒకరే సక్సెస్ అవుతున్నారు. And the percentage of success is very less. Even some people say that beyond 3 years, అంటే ఏదైనా ఒక బిజినెస్ పెట్టిన తర్వాత ఒక 1000 days, beyond 3 years సర్వైవ్ అయ్యేది 4%. సో అంటే అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ 96% ఆర్ నాట్ సక్సెస్ఫుల్, అండ్ సమ్ పీపుల్ మే స్టార్ట్ సంథింగ్ ఎల్స్. సో ట్రై చేస్తారు, ఇది కాదు నాది సూటబుల్ కాదు అని ఇంకో బిజినెస్లో సక్సెస్ అవ్వచ్చు. బట్ ఏ బిజినెస్ అయినా స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే ఆ బిజినెస్లో సక్సెస్ కాపాడడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి? నువ్వు ఇప్పుడు బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నావు కదమ్మా. సో హౌ డు యూ బిల్డ్ యువర్ బిజినెస్ అండ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ టీమ్ యూ బిల్డ్? దీనికి సక్సెస్ అవ్వడానికి అసలు ఏ క్వాలిటీస్ కావాలి? వాట్ యూ థింక్ ఇస్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్?
For a leader or
for an entrepreneur?
For entrepreneur?
And for a leader, both.
There's like a lot you can say. Mainly, you need to be hungry. My dad always says that. You need to be hungry. People that fail, maybe they're just not hungry enough for that feeling that I need to do this is not there. That is so, if the business is failing, because sometimes it has to fail. Sometimes just things don't work out. It happens. Because of that, then you can grow, do something else. Maybe that hunger will start from there. But the biggest thing with hunger, then you will see this has to happen one way or another. That drive, that purpose, that passion, then because you have that, then you'll be good. And then because hungry, that means you're never satisfied. That means always something has to keep coming, something has to keep changing. That's the entrepreneur mindset. You don't just stay stagnant. You keep developing your product, you keep changing, you keep evolving. Well, how come iPhone is coming, iPhone 1, now iPhone 16, 17 is coming, no? Just like that, you need to be like that iPhone. Hungry, changing always. That's the biggest quality I would say entrepreneurship needs.
Wonderful. As a leader, because entrepreneurship is something about business and working on the system and expanding your business, whereas leadership is all about people.
Okay.
So as you said, that next version is always have to be there, like 2.0 or 3.0, whatever the version you have to be your next version. How do you build your team, and what kind of person you need to be for the team to be a successful, to build a successful business?
to being a leader is to be a guide. Like the best way for the team to be successful is for the team to believe it's their ideas, and you're just helping them bring those ideas to light. You're not dictating, you're not telling them what to do. You're guiding them on how, then they'll tell you what to do. Then you just say, okay, because already you know what you need, right? You just need them to also know it, but you need them to think that it's their idea first. No one likes to be told what to do.
Wonderful. Suppose what if the employees are not really understanding your kind of leadership, but taking it for granted, and then they will not really live up to your expectation, and your business doesn't reach the point where you want it to reach. What do you do? Do you continue in this business, or will you give up and start something new?
Giving up is the last thing I want to do. If things aren't working, you have to understand what the bottleneck is. Is it me? Is it something else? Is it out of my control? All of these things, everything like this will happen. Employees will give you a hard time. Customer will give you a hard time. Something extra, something's always going to happen. Biggest thing is to know yourself, to be confident and trust your gut. Because our guts are always, our intuition is always the best. I think in that business, that's why some fail, because you're too dependent on maybe what other people are telling you, and too dependent on maybe what is coming, what is numbers, something like that. You're too, exterior things are impacting your decisions. You're not listening to yourself.
Wonderful.
And I think that's some people's weaknesses in some case. They're confident in what they know. I know I need this. But then some small thing will come and they'll say, let me go and ask somebody. Just hear it. You can ask. There's nothing wrong with seeking advice from people, but you should know when to listen and when to use it. That's the biggest thing.
Beautiful, Nikki. And you said that hunger has to be there. That's the most important thing for an entrepreneur. I really love that. In fact, one of my book is The Fire Within. So you have to have the fire. And is your father told you that you must have hunger, or do you have the hunger?
I think he definitely told me that, no? Coming from India to US, he's starving. Literally starving.
True.
Literally he came with the backpack. Maybe $5. Back then, $5 is nothing, no? Even now it's...
But your situation is not like that.
Exactly. So
how do you have hunger at this point of time? Tell me.
So that's that, right? The hunger is, I am living my life like now. I want to keep living my life like that. In fact, I want my life to become even better. So even my kids, taking care of my parents, I need to be hungry. Otherwise, there's nothing. Because my dad cannot keep working for so long.
I love that.
Because they taken care of me for this many years. Now I have to start taking care of them and myself. So I need that hunger. Maybe right now it's not maybe I'm still a little bit, but
still a kid, still a child in you. I wanted to really know, many Gen Z kids and youngsters in India, when parents are highly successful, especially the father and mother are highly successful and they have built business and they want their kids to come. If it is too big, that's okay. That if it is good business, and they always want to build their own identity rather than continue something what their parents have built. So this identity crisis also make them feel that I need to do something my own. Do you have anything like that, or do you feel that the purpose is greater, or continuing the legacy is a privilege? How do you see this as an opportunity, or losing yourself, getting into the business already been established? How do you see this situation?
I definitely saw it as, I'm just in the shadow doing what he telling me to do or something like that. At first, I had these thoughts. Now, honestly, coming to India and learning, seeing everything and learning everything. I'm seeing now seeing what my friends are doing too, my peers and everything. I'm seeing what a privilege I have, truthfully. It's not taking over my father's business there's nothing negative. I don't know why there's stigmas around that thing, because just because maybe that's not my own right now doesn't mean that I cannot achieve something later on in life. This is just a stepping stone, But I'm the second generation. To even call myself second generation is such a privilege, right?
Wonderful. And do you take up your father's business someday? And how do you see that as an opportunity? How do you take this forward next 1 decade? So do you have any vision or mission for your business?
See, now is such a pivotal point in business and in the world, right? A lot of things is changing. So there's a lot of thinking I need to do, a lot of planning, not even for now, planning 10 years, 20 years down the line. What can I do? How do I keep the successful business that he started? What was your question? I got lost.
How do you see a help of a business coach or a life coach or a person, life and business coach, having you in your startup? Will that be an extra help in succeeding faster and succeeding with ease rather than stress? So,
Okay. So with my dad, he's my mentor. But he can only mentor you so much because he only knows so many things. And then he also has that lens of family lens, right? So still some things he wants to protect. He's still, no, let me just do it. I'll do it like that. It's kind of hard to take responsibility when he's still holding on to the chains. So having an exterior mentor is very helpful because someone from outside perspective, you need that. Someone who's there to help you, develop you. Then you can add that to the business rather than feeling like I just do whatever my dad will tell me to do and I'll go and do that. There's not much growing that can happen from that because then you're just continuing on that old process. Not old process, but there's no new thoughts, new nothing coming and developing you in that sense. So you need some outside guidance, good guidance too. Someone with actually good things and thoughts, then they can help you.
Wonderful, Nikki. What is the biggest gift you can give it to your parents, especially your father, 5 years from now? What makes you fulfilled if you have done something? This is what I can give back to my parents, or especially your father. Having created or supported in your business. What do you think is the best gift you can give back?
That's so hard. This how do you do that? I would say the biggest gift I could give back is taking the fruits of his labor and growing it into something even bigger. Because he's trusting me with all of his hard work. My dad has been working since he's 10 years old. He has not stopped working since that age. So the biggest gift would be to finally let him relax, to get him to the point that that gears can slow down, and that he can fully trust me, that I can take it over.
What makes him proud of you?
What makes him proud of me? That's a good question. Just being his daughter. I don't think anything will change that for him.
What could be the future version of Nikita as you're entering into the business 5 years from now? How do you see yourself?
Confident, breaking the gender roles, that to becoming more authentic and developing more things using my cultures, my Indian and my American roots.
Excellent, Nikita. And now I would like to ask a question on behalf of India and Indian Gen Z generation, because you are a Gen Z born in USA, born to the Indian parents. of course, people are people and humans are same everywhere. The future is going to be different as we are all experiencing a transition or transformation in total shift in our thinking, because the new era is entering, that artificial intelligence is coming. And the last 2-3 decades, maybe we have seen IT boom, that the next 2-3 years may not be that boom. So there can be an explosion of human expression, which is already happening according to me. Here, 9 to 5 mindset definitely is going to go. If not now, 5 years from now. There can be a gig economy, there can be a freelancing, there will be a lot of work for people who are creative, who are skilled, who are intelligent. At the same time, what must be the new mindset required for the younger generation? Since you got a father who is also a mentor, or you got an opportunity to start a business. Maybe you got a privileges not everybody is having. But what do you think is the most important mindset required for an Gen Z kid, either in India or USA? What's your view about it?
I would say change or you will be changed. Because that's the inevitable. Things are always changing. It's you either change as it comes or you will be changed.
So nice of you, Nikita. Thank you so much for being here, for being a simple girl and a lovely daughter. So, and also very enthusiastic and being clear about who you are and what your privilege right now, and what would you like to leave a legacy for your parents. Especially you want your father to relax because you are taking up the charge and becoming a leader where you want to see him. You have done your job and I want you to enjoy. I want you to relax. That is a gift. You can give it only when you emerge as a better leader and next level leader, where he will be proud of you. I'm sure you would be that. Thank you so much, Nikita, for being here and definitely showing us different views and perspectives and of two cultures, and being a Gen kid of an Indian origin, American born citizen. It's really glad to know your views on life and business, and most importantly, business lo nu నాకు చెప్పిన చాలా బాగా నచ్చిన పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే, most important thing is people and customers. And customers are also people. So everybody is people. And once you understand that, how to connect to them rather than being a boss. Because నువ్వు నాకు చెప్పింది స్టీవ్ జాబ్స్ చెప్పింది గుర్తొచ్చింది. బికాస్ ఆయన ఏమంటారంటే, వన్స్ యూ హైర్ స్మార్ట్ పీపుల్ అండ్ టెలింగ్ దెమ్ వాట్ టు డూ ఈజ్ నాట్ స్మార్ట్, isn't it? So that's what his leadership is. నీకు తెలియకుండానే నీ అప్బ్రింగింగ్ వల్ల, నీ కల్చర్ వల్ల, you have all those beautiful qualities of being a leader. Wishing you all the best in our journey. Thank you for being here. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.